today. But first and foremost, we have to talk about Kansas. They blew out Baylor in Phog Allen Fieldhouse tonight. Jeff, was the number one seed on the line tonight when Kansas and Baylor played?
I mean, it is only for the simple fact that I think whoever wins the Big 12 regular season title is going to get a number one seed, and Kansas certainly has a major advantage right now. I mean, they're 8-1 in the league. Baylor's got 3 losses. That was an absolute plastering by the Jayhawks, and you kind of figured that would be the case. I mean, Baylor's still trying to figure this thing out and get healthy. They've been without key guys. Certainly tonight, again, without a key player. But I think the biggest key, honestly, was the job that DeJuan Harris did on James Akinjo. That, to me, was the difference maker tonight. You can say whatever else. If you can stop James Akinjo, I think Baylor is a good team, not a great team. And they've done that. I mean, Akinjo has struggled since he came back from that injury for the most part. But what Kansas was able to do, get out in transition, get easy buckets. Harris was good pushing the ball, but he did a great job in Akinjo.
Another thing, too, is Kansas kept them on one side of the floor. And where Baylor's really good is when they're attacking closeouts and that ball's changing sides of the floor so they can move the defense a little bit. Look, Akinjo, it just seems like there's a lot more dribbling this year. Or it's at least since Cryer has been out, and the ball is just not popping like it did earlier in this season. When they were down to battle for Atlantis, that ball was moving quickly. Kendall Brown was getting the ball and either driving or pitching it off. That ball's sticking a little bit, and that's credit to Kansas too. But this has been a problem for Baylor over the past week or two, to where it's that ball's not moving quite as much. Akinjo is they're running a lot of high ball screen sets for him, so it's a little bit different than we've been accustomed to seeing Scott Drew's team play over the past year or 2 years or so. So I think a lot of credit goes to Kansas defensively, but the ball's not popping. And I think that's a huge issue.
And I think a lot of it has to do with the guys that are banged up, right? Adam Flagler is back, and he's not 100%. I don't think that James Akinjo is back to what he was when he was playing his best. Obviously, they didn't have LJ Cryer. You don't have the spacing and you don't have the shooting that you did before, which makes you easier to guard, which means when you're coming off of those screens, instead of being able to find someone to hit him with a quick pass, you have to decide whether or not, okay, do I want to give it to Jeremy Sohan on the perimeter here and see what he could do? So I think that is the biggest issue. But to me, the takeaway has been we were ready to write off Kansas after they got blown out at home by Kentucky. Like we were questioning, do they have a chance to win this league? Even though they were in the first place in the Big 12, I think I asked that question on this very show last Saturday, and people could probably find that clip. But I think now their response going into Hilton Coliseum, Jeff, and winning and blowing out Iowa State, beating Baylor by 24, regardless of how healthy they are, this is a statement. I mean, I think Kansas figured it out. What am I doing down? What am I doing down Bill Self?
All these teams have gone through their ebbs and flows this year. All these teams, these 10, 12 teams that we're going to put in the equation right now to potentially win 6 straight. Baylor obviously got off to a great start, went 15-0 to start the year. They've been 4-4 since. Kentucky started slow, which surprised a lot of people, myself included. We'll get to the Cats here in a little bit. But, Kansas, you're right. You don't doubt Bill Self. Now, again, the biggest surprise in all this is they haven't had Remy Martin really effective at all this season. Didn't even play tonight. He's still dealing with a bone bruise in his knee, and they didn't miss him. And again, Remy Martin's kind of an all or nothing guy sometimes. So I think it's been hard for Bill Self to figure out how to utilize Remy Martin and how to connect with him. And, I was with Bobby Hurley last night. I had dinner with Bobby Hurley last night, and we were talking about Remy Martin. And, some games Remy kind of can just go off. And with Kansas, Bill Self doesn't need that. He doesn't need him to go off one night and not show the next. He needs consistency from Remy Martin, and he hasn't gotten it.
The one point that was made to me early on in the season, I don't mean to cut you off, T. I'll let you go after this, is that Remy, instead of running offense, he's just in such a habit of passing the ball to the wing, and if nothing happens immediately, running back over there and going and getting it again, instead of like cutting through and moving to the other side of the floor, cutting through and clearing. Whatever you're supposed to do in the set that Kansas calls, He's never done that before. His entire life has been get the ball, try to make something happen, give it up. If they don't make something happen, go back and get it and try to do it all over again. So I think that adjustment has been difficult for him, which is why I think, we're seeing DeJuan Harris have some success, T.O. Like, one, he could really guard. Two, he has no problem just kind of being the guy that's like, all right, I'm going to give it here. I'm going to go over there. I'm going to give it here. Then I'm going to go over there. We're going to find a way to make it work. Ochai Agbaji's our best player. Let's see what happens.
Well, that says a lot about what Bill Self likes. So would you rather have him being B to B- all the time, or would you rather have an A Remy Martin and a D Remy Martin, just depending on the night? And when you have some of the best wings in the country, and Kansas has that with Christian Brown and Ochai Agbaji, he has some of the best wings in the country. You need this steady guy at the point and somebody you know what you're going to get out of, so you can set those guys up to score, right? And on top of that, every time I watch Jalen Wilson play, I just seem to like him more and more. I know he had his issues at the beginning of the season, but he had 15 tonight on 7-10 shooting. He's efficient. It's just the 5 position and the 1 position seem to be the most important ones in college basketball, and that's where they struggle. So that's kind of where I worry a little bit. But their wing positions are awfully, awfully good.
And their bigs were good tonight. They were solid between McCormick and Lightfoot tonight. Mm-hmm. I think they got like 17 and 10 or something like that. Like, that's fine. You can get that out of those two. You're golden if you're Bill Self.
Yeah, but McCormick was 1 of 6. So we're back to old McCormick.
He rebounded though. He at least rebounded.
He did.
He rebounded the ball, and if he can do that, and 1 of 6 is not what you're going to want from him. But I think
what's wild about McCormick? We give Oscar Tshiebwe all of the props in the world for his ability to get on the glass, right? David McCormick actually leads the nation right now in offensive rebounding percentage. He is, by definition, the best offensive rebounder in college basketball. So look, I'll give the kid credit. He's had a rough year. He's been dragged through the mud. People like me on the field of 68 after dark have come through and said that he's a bum. He can't do this. He can't do that. But the kid has not.
You never said he was a bum. If you said he was a bum, I might. David
McCormick might too.
Be nice. College kid, Robert. Be nice.
Here's the thing. Like, he's never stopped playing hard. Right.
He's not. So don't call him a bum.
He's not executing. I was exaggerating. I never called him a bum. All right. You're a bum. Stadium outsider.
You can call me a bum. Absolutely.
Listen, are a bum.
You can absolutely
come on here dressed like a bum. Look, me and T.O. got our collars on. We're looking great. Where's our guy?
I'm wearing my Field of 68 t-shirt. What are you talking about?
Where's my guy in the chat? Where's my guy in the YouTube chat to call you out? I think I blocked him from all the accounts.
Anyways, you got to unblock him in order to get him back in here.
Let's get this thing back on the rails, man. So, I do think that McCormick is a valuable piece that at the very least is going to play his tail off every second that he's on the court. And maybe he's not Udoka Azubuike, but we probably should not have expected him to be as good as Udoka Azubuike was.
Well, he doesn't have the size as Udoka Azubuike. Like, that's the big thing.
Nobody
that guy was huge. Yeah. There was nothing anybody could do when he got it in there.
He just progressively got better where as a freshman you couldn't throw him the ball, but he made strides. McCormick seems to have kind of stagnated. That's all.
Mm-hmm. Plateaued a little bit after last year. And people started to realize if you do your early work against McCormick, there's not a whole lot there if he doesn't have the ability just to catch it and go up right away. If you make McCormick put it on the floor, you can work with it a little bit. Udoka Azubuike, you couldn't do anything. It didn't matter because he was so big. The body size of that man just canceled everything that you wanted to do defensively.
Yeah, and the thing about Udoka is he also was the best defensive center in college basketball, and he had an elite rim protector, great playing drop coverage, and he also, if you got him the ball within 6 feet of the basket, like, he was dunking it. His ability to dunk everything was insane. And I will always make this argument that season, the season that got canceled, the entire narrative was there's no great teams in college basketball. I think that by the time we got to March, Kansas was a great team. They would have won the national title that year. All right.